So, alright. Fantastic Dizzy review, Yolked edition by SsethTzeentach. Well, it's what? Why are there eggs here? Let's check it out. In the count of 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey people, Seth here. To address some allegations, I'd like to ask a simple question. Are you really upset because I was on the flight logs? Or are you upset because you were never invited? Fantastic Dizzy is—
Jesus. The volume. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, the volume was just absurd.
is a game, which, unlike the highly optimized projects of today, Fantastic Dizzy is a game, which, unlike the—
Oh yeah. Wait. Does Arc actually need 436 gigabytes? Because I think Baldur's Gate 3 is gonna take that next year. They're going up.
Highly optimized projects of today is less than 800 kilobytes and fits on a floppy with 100
Excuse me. Okay, that's
and fits on a floppy with room to spare. It's a DOS game, so we play it on DOSBox. It's a tale older than time. You are an egg called Dizzy, and your egg girlfriend has been kidnapped. Save her before she gets groomed by the vaguely Arabic-looking wizard.
Oh,
Along the way,
shit.
solve puzzles by using
Arabic. Let's see him again.
DOSBox. It's a tale older than time. You are an egg called Dizzy, and your egg girlfriend has been kidnapped. Save her before she gets groomed.
Yeah, that looks like... That looks like Gerard the competitionist.
By the vaguely Arabic-looking wizard. Along the way, solve puzzles by using the right item. You can only hold 3, and the only way to reshuffle them is by dropping them on the ground. It's a simple system, but it's an adventure game, so everything is an insane leap of logic. Deadly spikes, Persian rug, burning fireplace, bucket of water, which looks exactly the same as the empty bucket of water, but has to be dropped into a specific pool of water to become the bucket of water, or else it doesn't work and you have to backtrack.
Yo, I can't believe this shit is in DOS.
Specific pool of water to become the bucket of water, or else it doesn't work and you have to backtrack all the way to the graveyard. Also, because you're an egg, you roll like an egg. This can filter a lot of people as you'll roll into enemies. The Yolked village is infested by spiders and snails, while the city is overrun by shape-shifting Hasidics. But none of these are as bad as the butterflies, which do no damage, but stun lock you long enough that you die by something else. As evidenced by the fact that he is healed not only by eating fruit, but by the mere presence of precious stones. The fact that he is healed not only by eating fruit, but by the mere presence of precious stones. Dizzy is a Semitic life form, and Grandpa Dizzy is the fact that he is healed.
What is damage? Is that the health
not
of the
only
character?
By eating fruit, but by the mere presence of precious stones. Dizzy is a Semitic life form, and Grandpa Dizzy is probably some kind of century egg, which explains why he has to live in hiding out of fear of becoming an Asian man's delicacy.
What the fuck? He has run out of medicine. He asks you to make him...
The objective of this game is to collect 250 stars that lag your screen each time they appear. This is the intended experience, as increasing your CPU cycles will make the extra life minigame impossible, as the hourglass is tied to your clock speed.
What? Why are we still on that shit? Bro, it is basically the same thing as Fallout 4 and every Fallout basically being tied to the FPS, the speed of the game.
These stars are non-negotiable, and you can't finish the game without them. Some are sadistically placed, and you can't get to them except by falling in a particular manner from several screens away, let alone know of their existence. At some point, the game even expects you to trick shot yourself against butterflies to get the final stars, while platforming on a series of clouds that sink the longer you put weight on them. But that's late game. Early game is getting filtered by the minecart, which boils down to a single strategy. Guessing. You guessed wrong, you get splattered. Or in my case, you take the wrong exit and get stuck on a beach. At the time, I didn't realize you could take the entrance back to the mine and drown in the ocean. And I came back after the bubble.
Yo, this game is comprehensive. How many levels is this?
At the time, I didn't realize you could take the entrance back to the mine and drown in the ocean. Then I came back after the bubble riding minigame and got filtered all over again because I brought my aqualung, but no flippers, and I couldn't swim out of the bottom cavern. Dizzy has taught me that I haven't progressed very much as an adult.
This is like a hardcore PvRPG, man.
Struggling with an hour-long video game that's old enough to be the child bride that died giving birth to me. At least the music is nice. In general, this is a very nice game that you could show your grandma. It's not some NTR RPG.
Jesus! Jesus Christ.
Slop that would surely break her pacemaker. In the end, you fight.
It's still not as best as some of the Nike bots, but Nike sucks.
He's not very good at magic, but he has a mirror, which is good at reflecting magic.
God.
He's turned to stone and dies, presumably as an involuntary celibate.
Yes.
Your reward is a kiss from your fair maiden, which I
just
think
silly
is
money.
reward enough. Recently, I had an epiphany. I cover many games where I have a script, I have footage, but it's not long enough to justify a full video. Then I realized the title of a video not long enough to justify a full video.
What did you do there?
I realized the title of a video doesn't have to be accurate. So, I have no lack of content, which is important when I'm committed to giving sponsors the lowest quality for the highest rate of return. There are three things I value in this life. My mother, my data, and your mother.
Shit,
you know who else loves these things? Data brokers. Remember, everything you do online can be traced directly to your IP address via your service provider.
Not really.
But they wouldn't sell your personal information to governments and private companies.
If you're using some weird bullshit inside country internet that is using shared IPs with literally everything in the world and using TDLT for some fucked up reasons because that's how my life is. Yeah, no one's gonna track shit.
But they wouldn't sell your personal information to governments and private companies just for a quick buck, would they? Data brokers use this information to piece together what kind of person you are and sell you ads. Just last week, I googled one C++ tutorial.
Yes! Yes! He's the best! That is Voice Meter Banana. It's an app that everyone should get. That application is that software stuff. Get that. Voice Meter Banana. Get it.
Now owns 6 pairs of programming socks. I don't even know how it happened.
What the fuck is a programming
Such
socks?
Is the horror of a dreaded data broker. How did they know it was me? Because in one brief moment of foolish weakness, I forgot to turn on ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN masks your digital footprint and stops those pesky brokers in their tracks. And it's not just brokers you gotta look out for. Ask yourself this: who owns the Wi-Fi you use to browse all your favorite content? Is it your mom, my mom, your boss, perhaps
maybe the
your local public library?
The dead icicle of a crow that is on top of my roof. Bro, it's so cold out. I went from the roof to the bottom and from the yard to my this room, and basically I felt
all your favorite content. Is it your mom, my mom, your boss, perhaps your local public library? Well, if you and your waifu keep having these not-so-secret rendezvous on their Wi-Fi, they can still see everything, even in incognito mode. Now, your mother will disown you, your boss will garnish your wages, and the library will revoke your card. Now, your JoJo library date is cancelled. But Seth, I hear you cry, all this computational back and forth sounds really complicated. Not to worry, my friend. ExpressVPN does all the hard work for you. Just turn it on, hit one button, and voila. All your network traffic is sent through a secure encrypted tunnel. How strong? So strong it would take a supercomputer 1 billion years to crack.
But what if they are running the other sites that they want to track? So basically they now have a collection of all our IP addresses from in ExpressVPN. Did they just say, yo, ExpressVPN, can we have all of them? And they're like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Give it to them. It's the government. They can take everything you own. If you want to get a VPN, get an obscure one in another country. Get like one that is like sold in like Ireland. Because our government really, your government can't really go and like, that's going to be make it a bit more complicated to get access to the IP and history addresses that are like you used from Ireland.
Find out how you can get free months of ExpressVPN for free by visiting expressvpn.com/Seth or by clicking the link in the description below. What if I told you an action RPG released 2005 that's over 19 years old had fully working multiplayer until recently?
Wait, what?
2005 that's over 19 years old had fully working multiplayer until recently, when some corporate goon came in and ordered the unpaid intern to manually disable the multiplayer button. That's not a joke. They're just that petty. The latest copy of Dungeon Siege 2...
Are you fucking kidding me? That is disgusting. That is so disgusting. Oh my god.
Presents you with a menu where the multiplayer is grayed out.
Fuck.
So naturally, people reverse engineered it, and it's working perfectly. We managed to finish the whole campaign.
Oh my god,
premium gaming platform.
I used General 0 hours.
And it plays adverts that can be blocked by editing your System32 host file. But guess what? It has charm. This game...
Those are basically... You basically change a fucking TCP or TCP address to basically use that instead of their original website. That's basically the host system does.
That can be blocked by editing your System32 host file. But guess what? It has charm. This game infects my consciousness. That can be blocked by editing your System32 host file. But guess what? It has...
Hatem Basha Vasalah Hol Aras. I don't know what that means, but it is it.
This game infects my consciousness.
I kill you first, lady!
There's quotes from a tutorial burned into my brain.
Those must be the Bracken we learned about as children. Let's take them out.
Fuck?
These Bracken are as weak as Calrathian ale. These Bracken are as weak
These Bracken?
as Calrathian ale. These creatures remind me of our scuffles with the Taklak. Tough. These wooden creatures are weak to fire. Too bad I'm not a combat mage. These Ketrel are tough. Next time we see one use my brutal attack
my god, chill out!
Surprise them.
The story is very simple. You and your friend Drevin enlist in PMC Wagner. Before dying, he gives you his magical plot armor amulet.
We have completed our task. When can we expect our pay?
Yo.
And then he dies. The rest doesn't really matter. You don't have to pay attention. Just kill things and have a good time.
Oh my lord, I don't care. Wait,
an age ago.
Wait,
Zerum.
I skipped
don't
it.
care.
Anyway,
Oh
we
my
get captured
god,
as war
come on, the
criminals
cinematic
because we
though.
attacked a UNESCO heritage site. Understandably, the Dryades don't like us, and they've put good boy compliance collars on all the prisoners. One of them makes a break for it, which isn't very smart. On the other hand, you did enlist as a mercenary
what
for
the
people
fuck?
who look like this. They say and war criminals because we attacked
that's like
very smart.
literally the same
on the
thing
other
they
hand,
put you in.
did enlist as a mercenary for
Divinity.
people who look like this. They say don't judge a book by its cover. I say physicality reflects inner state, and all the most horrible people I've ever encountered look like something that escaped the mines of Moria. The prison warden gives you a chance to prove yourself by burning down a bunch of Morden watchtowers. This is one of several situations in this game where you have to think. Don't worry, there's not many. There's also not much dialogue in this game, except for Daru. Daru never stops talking. And she will begin her monologue in the middle of a fight. For this reason, I always recommend putting Daru in your party because it's very entertaining to get wiped by a dialogue box. This game can be quite intense. For this reason, I always recommend putting Daru in your party because it's very entertaining to get wiped by a dialogue box. This game can be quite intense. I'm not kidding when I say it's about 1-2 taps and you're dead. Free if you're a diet game. Except for Daru. Daru never stops talking, and she will begin her monologue in the middle of a fight. For this reason, I always recommend putting Daru in your party
I know
because
this
it's
shit.
very entertaining to get wiped by a dialogue box.
Same thing happens
this
in
game
some
can be
of
quite intense.
Digitry.
I'm not kidding when I say
But
it's
this
about
is
1-2 taps and you're
surprisingly
dead.
different.
Free if you're a tank, and even a trash mob encounter can leave your party dead.
Then how the fuck do you play this game without dying every second?
So it's important to have a plan, build, or idea of what you're doing, which we did not. You level up by doing damage of a particular affinity, melee, ranged, combat, or nature magic. And you can mix and match freely. Don't like your mage? Pick up a sword. Don't like your fighter? Take a bow. There's nothing stopping you from leveling every single tree except free time and practicality.
So basically you can
and there's no
multi-kill us
limitation
all over.
on what any of your characters can be. Did my friend have to relevel Tar as a combat mage? No, but it's funny. The Broken Worlds expansion adds 2 hybrid classes, Fist of Stone and Blood Assassin. One of these sucks ass. The other one lets nature mages have more armor than the tank. If you find yourself dying, just get more armor. There is no other statistic that matters for the average player. Leveling an affinity lets you put skill
a game
points
that
in
makes
that tree,
armor
and certain combinations
viable. Every game I play, Cyberpunk, the Baldur's Gate, I have some decks, that's completely different. Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, armor is completely useless. I don't know, why make armor, like make the coolest looking fucking armor and then make it like, give you 2% damage attack? That's not what armor does. Armor does like 50% damage reduction and increases your like lines.
Statistic that matters for the average player. Leveling an affinity lets you put skill points in that tree, and certain combinations unlock powers. Powers win fights. Everything else is irrelevant. It's just filler until you use powers again. You charge them up by doing damage, and you release them when you want dopamine. The first difficulty curve is taking the elevator, as you will likely split your party in half, and then one of us is going to pull the lever again, and we're going to repeat the whole process.
God. You know, it's not your fault. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, well, wait. Don't worry.
Okay, get off. Yeah, get off the fucking... Well,
Oh, this is so. Oh my god.
This is entirely about budgeting because the main thing you spend money on is potions, and you must make an informed decision. Do I buy the regular potion for my level that heals fast for however much money, or the weakest, shittiest potion for 15 gold? The answer is always the shittiest potion, and then you fill every single tile of your inventory with health and mana potions. Quick spoiler: melee and ranged do damage. Nature and combat do the same
is this fully automatic?
Do damage. Nature and combat do the same damage at the same rate.
I don't see any.
Oh,
alright. There is like collections. Oh, there you go. There's 1, 2, 3 spells.
Don't do that. Also, do not ever try to alt-tab this game. It can't handle it, and you're going to lose your save. However, I have room temperature IQ, and I'm conditioned like a Pavlov to alt-tab. So if you're relying on magic for damage, go back. Don't do that. Also, do not ever try to alt-tab this game.
Video initialization failure. Initialization. Function failure. Oh my god. DirectX error code. I can't even read the code. Time and recall. Check the log.
It can't handle it, and you're going to lose your save. However, I have room temperature IQ, and I'm conditioned like a Pavlovian dog that each time I hear that Discord notification, I am compelled to tab out and ruin everything. Proceeding with the story, you get told that you have the plague, and you should probably seek treatment from an elvish shrine. This does nothing because the plague is actually caused by shard souls, which are the spirits of aborted NBA players haunting the planet. No one can see them except for your party, and you're already immune because of Draven's amulet. With nothing left to do, we take the road home. Along the way, we meet an old man who is definitely not the game's antagonist. He tells us we need to stop Doomsday by reforging the exact thing responsible for Doomsday and bringing it directly to the enemy leader. This is why we don't pay attention to the plot, the lore, or any kind of writing in this game. This is hack and slash. This is ADHD in its purest form, since we gave up being hunter-gatherers. Anyway, we purify a fortress and force all the shard souls out of their host bodies. Finding nothing else, they all dash into a snake, and we get our first boss fight, which is enjoyable because it's all downhill from here. I'm gonna skip around a bunch because, honestly, this game is defined by its boss fights. Everything in between is relatively straightforward and not worth mentioning. The next boss fight is a dark wizard. These are mortal men that have forsaken humanity by adding extra jaws to the side of their face. Originally, I was going to joke about this, but as I wrote the words Sloppenheimer in my script document, I felt deeply disgusted with myself and took a cold shower. It took us over an hour to kill him. This is easily the place where
can make
people get filtered because every one of his attacks will one-shot you, and
I think Seth's channel is just weird enough that he can make those jokes without us being like, what?
The place where most people get filtered, because every one of his attacks will one-shot you, and one of them doesn't even have a projectile. It's just hit scan, and you're dead. You have to break down each part of his shield barrier to actually damage him, and then he can just recast it. And once you get him down to 1/3 of his health, he starts summoning his crystal. This is a DPS check that you have to save all your powers for and focus the moment it goes up, because if you don't, it kills everyone on the map, regardless of distance. And after destroying
so it's like
you have
World of Warcraft boss. So you have literally read the guide on it.
And after destroying it, you have approximately 5 seconds before he summons another. Next up is a dragon. You have to shoot with a ballista while avoiding hordes of infinitely spawning crabs. If he goes in the air, he rains down fire that burns you, the crabs, and more importantly, the ballista. This temporarily overheats the controls. However, the fight glitched and the ballista was now permanently disabled. Half an hour into this, I wasn't planning on reloading the game. I gambled on the idea that I could reset the object state by getting the dragon to cook the controls. And it turned out that worked exactly as planned. Except this is a 2-stage boss fight, and now we have to fight his bloodied head in a narrow hallway with no cover.
This is actually fucking cool. This is actually very, very fucking cool. Holy shit, I didn't know that.
Bloodied head in a narrow hallway
how did Blizzard go so wrong in the past few years? Like, what the fuck happened?
With everyone lying unconscious on the floor, we killed the dragon. How? Because for some reason, his second phase never actually kills you. And my nature mage, who was knocked out on the floor getting cooked by fireballs, was wearing a single piece of clothing with damage reflect that chunked the dragon's head for each tick of damage. Essentially, he died to a pair of slippers.
Oh, that's...
even say, we genius. Almost lost the first phase
and your
to a
tank is
and
too
we won the
tanky.
Second with an exploit.
And you got
a pleasant surprise, but usually it gets better before it gets worse. And we're no longer heading downhill because we've reached the bottom. Misery has 2 definitions: borderline personality and fighting free dark wizards at the same time.
Oh man, this is gonna be rough. Okay, never mind. It's over.
I don't know if I can describe the incomprehensible pain of childbirth in a retarded position where you're fighting gravity, but I'll try describing something much worse.
Rip MatPat. MatPat actually stopped it. Not didn't stop, he stopped himself. And he's actually going to spend more time with family and stuff. I really loved MatPat back in the day, and I hope that he's happy with his decision. But I miss him. I miss his voice. I miss everything. But I still live in GT Live. I check that out.
Imagine giving a boss the ability to cast a delayed explosion at your character's feet. Now make it spammable and make it affect everyone on screen. And if your characters are already dead, target them anyway. The problem of this fight isn't the free boss.
Okay, let's see what the fuck is this fight, because I didn't have no idea.
Fighting free dark wizards at
the each of them fucking summoned one of those balls?
Same time.
Oh.
Dark fucking wizard.
Man, this is gonna be rough. Okay, never mind. It's over.
I don't know if I can describe the incomprehensible pain of childbirth in a retarded position where you're fighting gravity, but I'll try describing something much worse. Imagine giving a boss the ability to cast a delayed explosion at your character's feet. Now make it spammable and make it affect everyone on screen.
Fuck
and if your
me.
characters are already dead,
oh, that's
target
so
them
dumb.
anyway. The problem of this fight isn't the free bosses spamming insta-kill area of effect attacks. The problem is that the animation to get up from being dead is longer than the animation that kills you. So that if you die in this fight, I cannot revive you, because the second I do, you get one shot. If not by the explosion, then by the billion insta-kill projectile beams that can clip an entire party. This fight didn't just break us, it broke the whole game. It went on for so long that eventually the game started to randomly pause on pause and desynchronize. Spells and AoE attacks stopped rendering, and eventually everything just grinded to a halt and crashed. So we rage quit the game for a week, and then we got them on a second try in only half the time. I'm convinced most of my subconscious psyche was dedicated to training for the rematch, because I came back with reflex and strategy that I didn't know I had.
That is literally happens with me
all Elden Ring. Same shit happened. The last fight of the game is pretty okay. I don't expect you to have any trouble. You have to kill Valdis, who is normally invincible. However, this fight takes place in Baoshan Steel Limited, and the lack of workplace safety can work to your advantage.
You got it.
Yo,
thank God. I was gonna kill myself if I rage quit.
Oh
we
shit!
Tried the Broken World expansion.
I know all this. I'm not some child.
Concentrate.
What the fuck?
You must focus if you want to learn.
Dude, this sucks.
And spoiler, it's complete dog shit. Turns out there's a good reason it's not sold anywhere online. Skip that shit. There's nothing good about it. In summary, I thoroughly recommend Dungeon Siege 2. It will test your friendship, and it will either wither away into ash.
Looks really cool, but seemingly it's too hard.
Cement and grow stronger, because one day you will play a competitive MOBA together, and if you're not prepared for that, you're going to be calling each other ethnic slurs for the last...
Oh, Dota 2. Dota 1. This is Dota 1, not even 2.
Because your e-friendship is...
No, this is late.
Over. You can play with up to 4 players. It's incredibly fun. I'll try include instructions on how to patch the game in the description below, but in case this is not accurate, skill issue. Figure it out. As always, more content.
Sure, skill issue in a game that is so absurdly unoptimized.
Seth isn't uploading. He's busy digging tunnels under the synagogue. These jokes hurt my feelings and cause me to self-harm. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one. Hey people, Seth here.
No cool credit scene with like all the cool shit you could do in the game. You do that. You used to do that. Yeah. But yeah, all right. So I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that game. To be fair, I can't, because the internet is pretty much slow right now. But when this video uploaded, hopefully, I probably played some of that game. At least a DOS game. That I can download and like just enjoy. But that game actually looked comprehensive enough. Like for a DOS game. The only 2 DOS games I played was like back in the day on my uncle's PC, because I didn't have one. It was like that Prince of Persia dude, who was like a blue dude with swords moving around in like a very gray scale, like castle. It was hard. That shit was hard. But there was another game, this red car You basically write a bunch of code. There's a red car comes out, and you basically go through the street and basically what do you call it? It's third person, and you dodge cars. So that was it back in the gaming world. But yeah, then Super Mario came and the other games came. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. For now, have a nice day and goodbye, everybody.